Sorry, I'm trying to let everybody know. Please go to the new one posted in the live tab. Love you. Okay, so this one is not working, which I don't fucking understand why. This makes me so mad. I don't know how I'm supposed to like accomplish anything or do anything. Delete forever. All right. Hi guys. I'm just putting up the post because for whatever stupid ass reason it was not uploading and allowing me to go live. I don't know why. I literally have done everything. I don't know what the issue is. So now I'm pissed off. Now I'm in a bad mood. All right, let's do this. All messages. Okay, awesome. All right, so if you know anybody else that's doing the live or coming to the live, just please let them know that I put up a new live, unfortunately. Recap live. Bachelorette party from hell. Let me know where you're coming in from. How are you? Make sure you're sharing. Vanderpump Rules Season 5 live recap. I'm gonna have to just save all this on the back end, unfortunately, which is so stupid. I literally just added all my links because we do have 2 sponsors today. So that's so fun and fresh and cool and wonderful. Like, I hope you guys are doing good today. Let me know where you're coming from. Let me know what you're up to today. And we're going to be recapping season 5, the Bachelorette party from hell. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. Hold on. Sponsored by Basque Sun Care and Hello Cake. Affiliate links below. Do earn commission. Thanks for the support. I just want to make sure I get that on there so that way it is aware. Okay, that's fine. All right, I love the sound of typing. Oh my God, I know, right? Everybody seems to. All right, I'm so sorry that I had to switch over to a different live. Like I'm very upset and very frustrated. Because that's not what I wanted. I'm very bummed. I'm not very entertained by all this. So, all right. So we are recapping season 5. Hopefully you guys can hear me really good. I do have some fans on just because I run hot. So that's wonderful. I'm glad you just farted. Have I farted this morning? I think I have. So we're recapping season 5. We're recapping the Bachelorette party from hell, which in my opinion, is it from hell or is it the absolute best thing that's ever happened to this show in decades, years, whatever. Let me just like see if I can put you guys a little, I feel like that's better. I feel like you can like see my full body now, or like full upper body. So we are now on episode 16. So this is the part where the Bachelorette party gets a little cuckoo cocoa nutso, and that's kind of where we are going from there. So hi, welcome in if you're here. Today's video does have a sponsor. It is Basque Sun Care. So if you are looking to get some sunscreen this summer, going into fall, sunscreen honestly is $365. You should be having it all year round. This is a very good face sunscreen. So this is their Truly Invisible Daily Sunscreen. And it's like silky smooth, velvety. I put this on underneath my makeup. So this is like one of the first things that I put on, and then I put my makeup on over it. It does have a a silicone feeling type base to it, so it goes on very, very nicely. So if you guys want to shop, the link is in the bio for that, and you guys can go there and you can get 10% off of your order using code mentallygrowing247. Our second sponsor for this video before we get started is going to be Hello Cake. Hello Cake is a toy company. They also have medications that you can use if your libido is low, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to be good because I'm not sure how much YouTube will let me say and not let me say. They also have lubricants, toys, all that fun stuff. So if you are looking to get any of that, you can also go to the link in my bio and go to Hello Cake, and you can get all your shopping done there. I use multiple things from that company and I love them very, very much. So I highly suggest you go over and get some, okay? Again, links are for both companies. I'll be shouting them out again later in the video. Links for both of those companies are in the bio. I do make a commission off of them. They are an affiliate link, so just a heads up there. I'm trying to be transparent. So again, the sponsors for today's video are Basque Sun Care and Hello Cake. So I hope you guys, if you guys get a chance to buy any of those products or use any of those products, please shout me out and tag me in any posts that you have. I would really appreciate it, and let me know what you guys think. I would love your feedback on them. Like I said, I enjoy both of these products and these companies, but I want to make sure you guys do as well. So yeah, I've worked with Hello Cake for years now, and Basque I've worked with this year, and I love them. So, all right, guys, season 5, episode 16. So this is day 2 of New Orleans Bachelorette party. Katie and Tom wake up, and Tom says at 4:30 a.m. they were all walking back to the hotel, and Katie did not feel safe. And apparently Katie went off on Schwartz because she wanted to get in a car, and he didn't. He just wanted to walk back to their wherever they were, just wanted to walk back to the hotel room. And she didn't want to do that. She was like, no, I don't feel safe. Let's just get an Uber and we'll go back. And he was like, no, we're not doing that. So they get into this like full-blown screaming match or whatever. And again, it's the same shit over and over again of like Tom not listening to her saying what she needs, what she wants, and him literally just being like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to listen to her, which is what he loves to do. This man loves to torture her, I'm telling you, it is his hobby, okay? It is a hobby that he strives for in life, is to literally torture Katie. He absolutely loves it. Whatever Katie says, he goes, nope, opposite. If he literally says that the sky is blue, if she says the sky is blue, he says the sky is pink. If she says the grass is green, he says the grass is blue. Like it doesn't matter to him. He doesn't give a shit. He just doesn't want to make her happy or agree with anything that she says. So Stassi brings the girls to this fancy restaurant, and Kristen says Schwartz was actually the one that was really being absolutely horrible to Katie that night, not the other way around. The guys and Ariana go on a gator tour, and Schwartz is still extremely drunk, and Jax thinks that he is drinking because of him and Katie always arguing all the time. Ariana's feeding the alligators, and all the boys are literally screaming like big fat babies, and every time they see an alligator, they're like, ah! And this is when I continue to forget that Ariana is from Florida, so the girl's probably seen an alligator or two. Also, did you guys see her at the Arts and Film or whatever the hell it is, Emmy Awards, I think it was last night? Her and Katie, they looked absolutely gorgeous. They looked so deliciously, so wonderful. Hold on, I'm just going to turn this part off. Okay. They looked absolutely amazing. They looked absolutely gorgeous and amazing. And they were both wearing like these little black dresses, but like Ariana's had gloves on it. Very chic, very cutesy, very, what is it called? Adorable? I don't even remember anymore because I'm so tired. So Stassi, being the demon human that she is, orders seafood, full well knowing that Kristen and Sheena, Demir, thank you, Jalissa, I appreciate it. Full well knowing that they don't eat seafood, because we've learned from this from the trip with the Summer House crew that they don't eat seafood, but order seafood at the Bachelorette party. And I'm just like, Stassi, Sassandra, you know what you're doing. Anastasia. And Sheena and Kristen end up leaving the table. And that's when Katie, and Kristen says that's when Katie was drunk, Um, sorry, her, so, God, Sheena and Kristen leave the table. End of sentence. When they leave the table, they're talking and they say that they were able to talk to Katie and have her admit what's really been bothering her over like the last like yearish or whatever. And Katie admits the reason she's so angry is she is convinced that Schwartz fully cheated in Vegas. That he didn't just like have a little kissy make out. Like, no. He fully like, did the deed. He used Hello Cake and did the deed with a girl. You know what I'm saying? And she has been very bothered by that, very upset about that. And that is what has kind of been holding her back and getting her very frustrated when she's been drinking a lot because she keeps replaying it in her mind before they're about to get married. And Kristen and Sheena say they are going to get Schwartz to admit what he did and make him apologize, which is psychotic behavior. At a bachelorette party, the joint party, that's when you're like, you know what? That's when we need to have like a full session. This is where they don't understand boundaries. They don't understand like how to behave appropriately, especially Kristen. Kristen's like, this is the perfect time to have this conversation. This is the perfect time to bring this up. Let's just like destroy people's upcoming marriages. Like they're literally getting married in like 2 weeks, I think. So the Gator crew is eating lunch and Schwartz starts saying he feels bad for the crabs and kind of starts like crying. And everybody in the group's kind of like, what the fuck is going on right now? Can you guys see this like contour of light right here? Like my cheeks are like, I love it. Sandoval says they need counseling. Oh, sorry, I have to crack my neck. Sandoval says that he thinks that Katie and Schwartz really do need to consider going to counseling and that Katie is having a lot of issues with the girl in Vegas. And the Toms think that Kristen is just basically doing like propaganda work to drum up drama on this trip. Now listen, in my opinion, two things can be correct at the same time, okay? On one hand, okay, Katie is upset about this Vegas girl and is very upset and concerned that her future husband hooked up with another girl while they were together, okay, on this side. On this side, Kristen is a devious little snake girl and is trying to cause drama and tea while helping these people out. The thing is that, like, Kristen doesn't understand when is the appropriate time to help someone out. She thinks that, like, you could be at your wedding and in the middle of your vows, she could be like, you guys, can we pause for a second? We really need to talk about something. We really need to get together and have a conversation. It's like, girl, this is not the appropriate time. This is literally the most inappropriate time to have this conversation. But Kristen doesn't understand that. Kristen doesn't get that. Kristen's never gotten that. And I still to this day think Kristen hasn't got it. Also, congratulations to Kristen. She's engaged. And you know that the entire third season of The Valley, which if we don't have a third season, I would literally be shocked. The entire third season of The Valley is going to be her wedding because this chick is going to get married as fast as humanly goddamn possible. Because it's her turn. It's her turn. You know, Katie had her wedding. Brittany's had her wedding. Stassi had her wedding. It's my turn. It's my turn. Let's see. Jax asked Schwartz, like, why are you getting married? Like, literally, why are you getting married when this is how you are feeling and you look miserable? And Shay says that marriage is, like, very, very hard. It's not easy. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. It's very hard. It's not easy to do, which, sad future for Mr. Shay. Sandoval starts crying and just wants him to be super happy and that, you know, he goes into this big, long speech about how, like, Schwartz, you, like, put, like, everybody first, like, you're the best friend to everybody, like, you're always there for everyone, and, like, you're just, like, the best guy that I've ever met, the best guy I know, and it's like, do we see two different fucking people here? Because what I'm staring at is someone that, yes, is kind and nice to other people, but for whatever reason, cannot be kind to his freaking fiance. Can't listen to his fiance, can't be there for his fiance. Why is everybody else, and like this is the main reason, like Katie has said, this is the main reason why they got divorced, is because everybody else was more important than Katie. Everybody else's opinion was validated. Everybody else's thoughts were 100% correct, except for hers. for whatever reason, anytime she wanted something, anytime she believed in something, anytime she tried to have any sense of understanding, he didn't give a shit. But anybody else thought about something, anybody else had an opinion about something, he always followed them. It's frustrating and it's ridiculous because all she was asking for was for him to listen and understand her. That's all he had to do, and he couldn't do that. Nobody said that they had to have the same opinion, that they had to have the same way about going things. It's just that Schwartz doesn't even try to understand her. Schwartz doesn't even try to listen. He's just like, no. And it's like, hey, football cat, how are you? The girls surprise Katie. Oh, wait. Yeah. So next the girls are up in the hotel room and they're like getting ready and hanging out. And all of a sudden it's like, knock, knock, knock. And it's like, who could that be? And it's like, and all of a sudden here comes a stripper walking in. And they're like, what? Oh my God, this is crazy. And like, she was looking good. Okay. She was looking real good. And all I kept thinking was, number one, it doesn't shock me that Kristen's the one that ordered the stripper. I mean, that's on brand, you know, for Miss Kristen Doty. Stripper, buying a stripper, getting a stripper for the girls, super on brand. Out of all the girls, I'm like, who else would get the fucking stripper? Of course it's Kristen, duh. And then the other thing I kept thinking was like, I want to know if there were camera men or camera women in that room. And then can you imagine being the cameramen or women or camera people, okay, in there watching this all happen, booties flapping, crotches and faces, okay, money sprawling about all over the place, and you're just like sitting there with your camera and you're just like hello. That would be crazy to watch. That would be crazy. I think about some of the things that some of these camera people have to experience on these shows. And I'm just like, how do they do it? I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they don't laugh their asses off. I don't know how they don't get in there. You know, get in there and join in on the fun. I just don't know how they do it. So then we see that the guys, while the stripper stuff is happening, the guys are getting together and they're starting their drag. Because now we're done crying and having a fit and having a woe is me party. Now we need to dress as feminine women. Obviously, that's like the next step in being your true feminine self, okay? Have a crying pity party for yourself and then go out on the town and dress up and get drunk and forget about all your problems. Duh. So they have Miss Aubrey. They have Stare? What did I put? And Anastasia come in to get the guys in drag, and they are in full drag. They're not in, oh God, I just gotta chill. They're in full on drag. Like, it's not like, oh, let's just put a little makeup on, or like, oh, let's put like a cute little like outfit. No. We are fully committing. We are committing from being the lady that we thought we would be to fully being a woman. And it's funny because Jax is like, I'm not shaving my beard for this. Like, I will be a bearded lady and I don't give a shit. And I'm like, I love that for you. Go off, sis. Go be a bearded lady. Ariana goes to see what the girls are up to, and she finds that the stripper is there and is like, holy shit, they're having way more fun than the guys are. And she considers switching teams with the girls because she's like, how come they're having so much fun? And she kind of talks about how like she's impressed at how like the gender roles are kind of switching. Like, the guys are doing drag and like dressing up to go out, and then like the girls have a stripper, and it's just like very different experience than she's kind of ever had with the Bachelor or Bachelorette party, which I think is so fun and so cool. And so she takes photos of the stripper with the girls and then sends them and shows them to all the guys, and the guys are like, wait, what? Like, and I think at one point I think I remember Schwartz being like, is that Bubba? I'm like, yeah, Bubba's getting more with this stripper than she's gonna get on her wedding night, okay? Which is disturbing to me. Peter looks like a middle-aged woman at the PTA meeting. These are hands down the ugliest women I have ever seen in my life. They were hideous women. Except for, honestly, Sandoval looked pretty good. But still, they were looking a little rough. Thank you so much. On Sundays, I try not to wear any makeup. On Sundays, we don't wear makeup. Yeah, on Sundays, I try to wear no makeup. I just have my skin nice and fresh and clean, so that way it can breathe a little bit. Because during the week, I never know. Some days I want to wear makeup, some days I don't, but I don't want to have acne and grossness. So That's usually what I do. I also wear a lot of sunscreen. So just saying, just saying. I always wear sunscreen. Just saying. Get the link in the bio. I'm one of those people. So the names that they gave so the guys give themselves drag names. And we have Lisa Vanderpump, which I thought was genius. We have Ariana is doing drag as well, but is dressed as a boy. Some would say a man, but it's giving boy, okay? It's giving teenage boy. And Ariana's name is Jordan Tyler, which was so funny. Then we have Jen Rod, Petra Honeysuckle, and Tina Lamar. And it's so funny because Carter is the only one that wouldn't get dressed up in drag. And I'm like, Carter, don't be a freaking loser. Like, get with the dudes. Like, get dressed up. Like, let's have a fun time, okay? Like, what the hell? So Ariana is trying to be, like, this douche type of bro. And it's just like, hey, ladies, like, how you doing? It was giving Justin Bieber. It was, if I was born, I could take this that you never been before. Like, that was the vibe it was giving. 1,000. It was giving DJ James Kennedy / Justin Bieber crossover. The guys are truly in their element, and they decide that they're going to go to the straightest bar that they can find. Which, okay, we're gonna take an educational pause here for a second, okay? Watching this show, okay, now, it's one of those things where you're just like, the privilege to walk into a straight bar and not have anybody harass you, hurt you, harm you, as straight men, to do that is such a privilege, because normally, if an actual drag queen or, you know, even a trans person came in, it's like all over. It's wraps. They're in Florida. They're in New Orleans. Sorry, they're in New Orleans. And it's like, I have a feeling that that's not maybe like popular to be doing, okay, in like a southern state. So I just found that very, very interesting, and I found that to be very interesting. So Schwartz is like beyond drunk. Like, he is tanked out of his fucking mind. He is borderline on like alcoholic syndrome issues we got going on here, okay? And he keeps walking up to everybody and is like, can you find my penis? I think it's missing. My penis seems to be missing. Has anybody seen my penis? And it's like, you said it, bro, not me. They get a video of Jax trying to pee with his dress on and trying to get his Spanx back on. Because they're fully committed, you guys. They're in Spanx. They're in booby cup things. They're in, and they got it all down, okay? And you just see Jax in his little, like, red, like, pixie wig, which looks absolutely insane. This little red pixie wig, and he's just, like, in this, like, tight outfit, and he's got his Spanx on, and he's, like, trying to pull his Spanx up, and he ends up peeing all over his dress and his Spanx, and he's like, oh, I'm peeing on myself. Ah! The girls went on a murder tour before they went out and met up with the guys later at the hotel. And Kristen just keeps like, the editors, the Vanderpump Rules editors are the best, in my opinion, are the best editors on television. They are so good at editing to make it's like they take the thoughts that we're all having as the audience in our head, the thoughts that maybe you shouldn't be saying out loud, you know what I'm saying? Like, internal thoughts. And they just edit it to kind of be like, we see you, audience. We know. We see you. We know you're thinking the same thing. And it's so fucking funny. And so she's going all around and she's saying that the guys that are getting, like, that they're talking about constantly getting murdered, it's because they cheated. Did this guy cheat? It's probably because he cheated. He's a cheater. You know what? He probably cheated. That's why he got murdered. You know? If you cheat, you're going to get murdered. You know? Murders are cheaters. Cheaters are murderers. Like, it just never stops. Of course, she's probably tanked too, so that doesn't help at all either. So Saucy said Jax looks like a Tiffany, and Tiffany is the type of girl that kind of like always needs a ride, always needs to get cigarettes, always has to go to 7-Eleven and needs you to bring her. And I 1000% agree. It's definitely giving a Tiffany. I can see that. And I could definitely see Jax being the type of girl that is constantly like, can you give me a ride? Can you give me a ride? But the thing is like, he's asking for a ride, but he doesn't have any money. So he's like, can I have a ride? I'll give you like a, you know what I'm saying? I'll give you a, If you can bring me to 7-Eleven, if you can bring me to 7-Eleven, I'll give you a little And that's Jax. If Jax was a woman, that's what Jax would do. Favors for 7-Elevens, okay? Kristen decides that this time in the hotel room when they're all together, okay? In the hotel, sorry. They all catch up together. They're all laughing and joking around about everybody's outfits and like how like Ariana looks really good as a guy and how, Sandoval looks really good as a girl. Sandoval has swapped wigs. He went from like the long black wig that looks like, the PTA mom that smokes a bunch of cigs and is gonna like cut you to Sia, essentially, is what ends up happening. And he's like this like cunty little bitch, and it's so funny. It is hilarious, okay? So Kristen's like, oh, we're all drunk. We're all hanging out. We're all having a really good time getting along. This is the perfect time to bring up the cheating in Vegas. Like, oh my God, I've never seen a better time to go do that. So she's like, Schwartzy, come here. I gotta talk to you. And like brings Schwartz off alone to this like little, like the cheap little side hotel bar. Guys, don't mind me touching my hair. It's just so soft, and I just like, oh, I just want to touch it. And I just got it done. I just got like the blonde redone in it. I mean, the curls are completely out of it from like 2 days ago, but I just like, oh, I just love touching my hair after it gets done. And so brings him off over to the side and is just like, hey, like, I think this is why you guys are fighting so much. I think it's because of the Vegas girl, and obviously like you cheated. And he gets so pissed off. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? How dare you? I can't believe you want to talk about this like right now. Like, I can't, like, Dodie out of all people, blah, 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 blah. And Schwartz calls her a basic psycho bitch. And Kristen chases after him to the elevator, and Schwartz says he wants to go, he will go to war with Dodie if Dodie doesn't stop. Like, I'll go to war. I'll go to war. It's like, why are you talking to him when he's hammered? And you're hammered. You're all hammered. Why is this a good time to talk about it? It's not. You guys should have talked about it either before the Bachelor or Bachelorette party, or you should have just waited, had a great time all together, and then talked about it when you were home. But no, let's do it at the Bachelor Bachelorette party. That's a great time to bring the groom aside and go, hey, so your bride hates your guts because she's like 99.9% sure that you cheated on her. Perfect timing, Dodie. So again, it's very much like, oh, you're a basic psycho bitch, Dodie. Like, oh, look at Dodie. Dodie wants to talk to me about this. Like, oh my God. Like, Dodie, I'll go to war with you. I will go to war with you if I have to. It's like, go to war with what? What the hell are you talking about? Like, everybody knows Kristen's little secrets. Everybody knows that Kristen is like trash. Like, there's nothing, unless you're going to tell me, look me dead in the eye that Kristen has like, somebody, even that I believe you. There's nothing that anybody on this cast could say that wouldn't shock me that Kristen's done. Zero. There is not one thing that would shock me that Kristen Dodie has done. Like, again, even if somebody was like, I literally buried a body with her, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Nothing shocks me. Kristen's this close to being on 2020. Okay? This close. Kristen is this close to having an episode dedicated to her from Law and Order. Okay? And if you don't agree with me on that, do you watch the show? Like, dear God. So they're like getting into the elevator. Yes, oh my God. She would be the perfect person to be on Snapped. The perfect, like literally, when I saw that she got engaged, the first thing I thought was, like one of my followers on Instagram was messaging me about it and we were joking back and forth. And I was like, seriously? She's going to be on 2020. Like, they're going to get married and he's going to mysteriously disappear. Because think about it, like, he has all this money. He has a lot. He has like a compound. Okay. So he has money. Okay. And I just feel like didn't she just do like some weird movie documentary shit thing where I don't even know if it's out yet, where she and what's her face there pretended that they were in like a cult or something. I don't know. Like, she gives me like, I'm gonna murder my husband and I'm gonna start my cult on his ranch. That's the vibes that Kristen gives me. And I will stand by that. And I would say that right to her face. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think Kristen would disagree with me necessarily. I think she'd be like, yeah, that's what I would do. Duh. Like, yeah, she's like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, I totally believe that. So they're going towards the elevator and the guys are trying to get away. The guys are trying to get away from Kristen, and Schwartz is like calling her a bitch whore. I want to break. What? Whose message is that from? Okay. Um, calling her a bitch, a whore, and Sandoval is like screaming at Carter and was like, Carter, you literally don't even know the half of Kristen. You don't know. And Kristen's like, yes, he does. I told him everything. He knows everything about me. He knows everything about me. And he's like, yeah, okay, sure he does. And is very much like, Carter, like, girl, you do not know what a psychopath you are with. And it's like, I think he does. Like, I think Carter knows who he's with. Like, I don't know why they act like Kristen is just like a mystery. She's not a mystery. She, like, I will say this, hey, so I feel this way about all people, but I would rather be friends with someone like Kristen, who will literally to your face call you like a bitch, a whore, an asshole, a piece of shit. Like, and like, what you see is what you get with Kristen. You just have to be like, you have to know if you're gonna tell Kristen something about yourself. If you're gonna like keep a secret, don't tell Kristen. Just don't, like, out of all the people on the show, do not tell Kristen Doty. And if you do, you're the dumb one, not Kristen, okay? I would rather be like around people like that because I'm just like, oh, okay, Jax too. Like, I hate Jax and Jax is a freaking piece of shit, but I would rather be around somebody that you see what you get. Like, it's right there in front of you, and then you can kind of pick and choose what you want to deal with and you don't want to deal with. I don't like people that are like secret little assholes, keeping secrets. You never know what they're going to say or going to do. You never know if they're like listening to you because they want to listen to you, or if they're listening to you because they want to tell like your tea and your like, I don't like people like that. Okay? Kristen, it's just like people want to be like, oh my God, you'll never know how bad Kristen is. You'll never understand. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure people understand how bad Kristen is. Pretty sure Carter fully understands what a psychopath she is too, and still dates her. I just feel like Kristen can really lay it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hello Cake. Don't forget, click the link for Hello Cake. I just feel like the reason why Kristen's getting all these dudes is I think Kristen can lay it down. I think Kristen is, like, I'm sorry, I don't disagree. Like, I don't like this concept. I think it's rude, and I think it's very, masculine man bullshit. But, like, the crazy ones, they know how to do things, okay? And she's crazy. So I just feel like these guys are like, I'll put up with her craziness because, she can, really, really well, okay? She can, how do I say this on YouTube? Eat a pickle, eat a hot dog better than the rest of them, okay? She is the captain of the hot dog eating team. That's Kristen, okay? In my mind, that's Kristen. Okay, that's Kristen. Carter says that everybody, so they're in the hallway of the hotel rooms screaming at each. Oh yeah, she's a super freak, 100% football cat. Super freak. And the guys, I'm sorry, you're telling me that's Sandoval dealt with her crazy ass for that long because he is crazy and wants to get the dun 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 dun. Okay? That's why. He's like, hell yeah, she be doing crazy things. She's the type of girlfriend that, like, you guys could have gotten in the worst fight ever, literally brawling, screaming all out. The cops are going to be called. And then after the fight's all done and over with, she wants to have sex with you. That's Kristen. And some dudes like Sandoval clearly love that shit. It's messed up and it's stupid and it's awful, but, like, I'm sorry, that's just how I feel about their relationship at the time when they were in a relationship. So Carter's like, everybody grows up. Oh my God, I would love her to do a TED Talk. Sometimes I listen to her podcast. I don't normally because, like, if I want to listen to Kristen, I want to listen to, like, behind the scenes stuff about the show and, like, tea and gossip on the people on the show. I don't really want to hear about anything else. But man, oh man, that woman, she knows things. Okay, she is a vault, but she's also willing to pay the price to crack that vault open. Okay, she's willing to, like, crack it open so you can see more. So Carter says that everybody grows up, and Sandoval, you became Sia. What? But also, really funny joke. So Jax and Brittany are in their room listening to everything that's going on, and Brittany is like, we should go out there. We should go out there. And Jax says that this is war. This is war. It's war out there, and we cannot get involved. And so they're just sitting in their bedroom, just listening to everybody act like complete fucking psychopaths, screaming at each other at all decimals. And this is the thing, like, they're on a floor of a hotel room, and they only have, I think, 4 hotel rooms, I think, or 6 hotel rooms, I think, amongst them. So I'm going to assume that they're not taking up the entire floor of where they are. So there's probably patrons just listening to them bitch and complain. I'm hoping that Bravo was like, we're just going to take the whole floor because it's just easier that way. With this group, they're a little crazy. So, like, we're just going to book the whole floor. I feel like that's what they should have done. So the girls get back together into one of the hotel rooms. I think it was Katie's. And Katie admits the way Kristen went about it with talking to Schwartz really sucked, but that the intention was definitely good, and she appreciates her being a really good friend and wanting to figure out what's been going on. And it's like, don't enable Kristen. Don't give Kristen. You can't even give Kristen Doty a centimeter. Okay, you can't even give her a centimeter, let alone an inch, a mile. Okay, you can't even give her a millimeter. Because if you say for 1 second that anything that she did had good intentions, that bitch is going to do it again and again and again and again and again. She can't help herself, okay? She can't help herself. Ariana and Sheena are trying to get to Schwartz and trying to get to understand why Schwartz is, like, so upset and so frustrated and so angry. And he's literally screaming. And Schwartz is, like, going back and forth, pacing throughout the hotel room. And finally, he's just like, you know what? I'm not marrying her. I'm not marrying Katie. I'm not marrying Katie. And then it's like, end of episode. That was just episode 16, you guys. That was just one episode. It took me 37 minutes to talk about one fucking episode. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, okay? They don't give that shit out anymore. Episodes are not like that anymore, okay, on these reality TV shows. Episode 17, okay? One of my favorite episodes. One of my favorite first 5 minutes of an episode, okay? Schwartz continues that he is not going to marry Katie. He is adamant on, I'm not marrying that bitch. Katie tells Stassi about Schwartz cheating because Stassi and her were not friends for that whole year that happened, which I completely forgot about that. So she's just, like, totally unaware, Stassi is, about what was going on, and was like, oh wow, I didn't know any of that. Like, holy shit, I'm so sorry. And Katie is convinced that Schwartz cheated and just wants him to admit it. That's all she wants. Again, this is just more validation for me that all Katie wants is to be heard, to be seen, and to be validated. That's all she fucking wants. She doesn't really necessarily seem to care that he actually did it. She just hates that he will not admit it to her face and give her that type of respect of at least tell me to my face that this happened. She just wants the validation. She just wants to be heard. And he continues to not want to do that. He never wants to do that because he's a dirt person. He's a dirt person. Sandoval says the only reason Schwartz even proposed is because Katie gave him an ultimatum and they should have worked their shit out before they proposed. And whose fault is that? Let's see. Schwartz's. At what point did Schwartz, when are we going to ever, like, this is the thing that pisses me off with these dumbass men, is when are you going to look at your friend and go, why did you, bro, not on Katie. Katie gave a valid, okay, this is my opinion. You don't have to like it. Okay, this is my opinion, but she gave a valid ultimatum. She said, you know who I am. You've known what I've wanted. You know where I want our relationship to go. You have this time frame to show me that you want to do that. And if you don't, just tell me, again, communicate with me, and we'll move forward. Like, it's not like she doesn't care. Like, be with me and let's get married, or don't be with me and let me move on with my fucking life. He can't do that because God for fucking bid, okay? Sorry. My neck. I need to crack it so bad. Okay. So this whole, like, oh, he only proposed because, you know, she gave him an ultimatum. Okay, are you an adult? Are you an adult man that can say no? That can say, you know what? I don't want to get married. That's not my vision for my life. And Maybe if we do, it just won't be right now. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't feel like we're in a good enough relationship. Maybe we should go to counseling. Maybe we should, break up I don't know, but we can't get married. Like, it's not responsible. Did he do that? No, he didn't, because he's a baby back bitch, okay? All he had to do was just be like, nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel like that's the right thing for us to do right now. I feel like we should really consider something else. But no, he couldn't do that because he can't help himself. Instead of being honest with her and open with her, he decides to just be like, I guess I'll just have to marry the bitch. And it's like, fuck you. Why can the men not be held accountable? It's always the women's fault in this group. It's always the women's fault in this group. It's never the dude's fault. And they validate the shit out of each other. And it's so stupid. They're just in like this little, like, what is it? Like a little hole. And it's just the same bullshit going through over and over and over again. Instead of someone being like, hey, you guys, like, that was wrong. Sheena and Ariana called BS about why they got engaged. And that Schwartz loves Katie, and that's why he proposed. I think he proposed because he didn't want to lose Katie, in my opinion. So he's just like, I guess I'll get married then. Well, I don't fucking care. I just don't want to lose Katie. And if this is the only way I can stay with Katie, I guess this is what I'm doing. Well, look how that fucking turned out. Sandoval gets angry and aggressive and tells Sheena to get her finger out of his face. She's literally like 4 feet away from him. He's acting. Okay, so remember in season 11 when they got in a fight at James's new house, and Sandoval called Sheena like a mistress and all this bullshit or whatever, and then Sheena like really got up in his face and pointed. Like, that I can understand, like, get the fuck out of my face. They're literally 4 feet apart, and she's just like, no, that's not what happened. And Sandoval's like, get your fucking hand out of my face. He is so rude to women. It is for nothing. Like, he just wants to scream at women, and he's always been like that. And he proceeds to punch a wall, and the girls tell him to calm the fuck down, which I don't know why you're so angry and so upset and acting like a psychopath, other than that you are a psychopath and that you're drunk. Those are the only reasons why you're acting the way that you are, because you are being absolutely ridiculous right now. Sandoval is tired of Schwartz constantly getting belittled, and then proceeds to scream and goes, leave him the fuck alone. He's a battered wife. And then kicks the door open and is like, look at him. And then Schwartz is sitting there in half drag, his wig off of his head, basically taking a shit. And it's just like this. It was the best editing, best timing I've ever seen in my fucking life. You would have thought that they rehearsed this 10 times. She's like, look at him, he's a battered fucking wife. Boom! And then Schwartz just in half drag. Wig off, glasses on, makeup still happening, dress still half on, taking a dump. It was beautiful. It was one of the most incredible scenes I've ever seen in my entire life. Katie says that she is the dumbest woman on the planet and that she's protected him for way, way, way too long, which I don't think you're dumb. I just think when you love somebody, you can behave dumb. I've literally been there, done that. Schwartz drunk walks in with the girls and starts slurring that Kristen called him out for Vegas Girl. Katie says, yeah, well, you did it. And Schwartz goes, oh, well, you're a bitch. And they just start arguing with each other. And again, it's just, at one point, I think at the end of this is when Katie mentioned something about, like, everybody finally seeing Schwartz for who he really is. Stassi tells Schwartz to stop and leave the room. Schwartz says, I wish Katie cheated on me, and that the only issue was that, with that bitch. And it's like, yeah, you're right. That's not the only issue you guys have, for sure. But again, at what point were you going to grow the fuck up, and you were going to be an adult man and make the changes that need to be made, or leave her alone and break up with her? If you think she's such a bitch and she's the worst person ever and you hate her so much and there's so many things that are wrong that we should have worked out, why are you getting married? Because you're a man-child. Because you're a man-child, and you cannot just grow the fuck up and say, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do it. It's not right. We shouldn't be together, or we shouldn't be getting married at least. And we should take the time to fix our relationship before we get married. And fix it. You can't fix a relationship in 2 weeks. I'm sorry, you can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. You can't do it. it takes time. And so to sit there and be like, oh my God, we've been happy for 2 weeks before the wedding, it's so exciting. Nope, it doesn't work like that. Kristen says the reason Schwartz is the worst is because of Sandoval, and that Sandoval never holds him accountable. And it's like, yeah, that's definitely one of the valid things. Like, but at the same time, Kristen is just picking Sandoval because she fucking hates Sandoval. But yeah, Sandoval, Tom and Tom validate each other's BS. You know, if one of them is doing something stupid, the other one validates it, and vice versa. Like, it's rare. It is rare that you ever see one of them tell the other one, like, hey, that was a bad choice, or hey, don't do that. No, it's usually, oh, the girl that you're complaining about is a bitch, and you're right all the time. And that's just not, what type of friend are you? Like, you don't have to be, you can be someone's best friend and not agree with all of their choices and decisions, and to give an opinion about that. You don't have to be a jackass about it. Just be like, hey, like, dude, that's not how you should treat your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife. Like, you really hurt her, or you really did this, or you really did that. Like, you really need to apologize for that, or like fix it, or whatever. It's like, no, Katie's just a bitch. No, literally no. Jax says all Katie wants is for Schwartz to admit what he did and just say sorry. And I'm like, why is Jax the smartest person in the fucking group right now? What is that about? Like, why is Jax the one making sense in this group? Well, one, he's drunk. And I'm going to go with, when you're drunk, all of a sudden he flips it and reverses it, okay? It's your from a, and he all of a sudden makes sense. But it's like, yeah, that's all she wants. It's like, just admit that you did it so we can move on with our lives. But he won't do that. And it's like, well, I don't remember. Okay, how about you stop getting fucking hammered and being friends with people that enable your behavior and that don't keep you safe from acting like a friggin' idiot. And I agree with, like, I think she said before, she's like, I get hammered all the time. You don't see me making out and having sex with other people. Like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, in my opinion, that's a deep-rooted problem. Like, I've been drunk many times in my life, and I have never cheated on a partner while I was drunk. That's not a part, because it's not a part of my, like, my DNA. It's not part of, like, my makeup. I don't just go out seeking another human being. And that, to me, is a dumb excuse of like, oh, I don't remember. Oh, I got too drunk. It's like, okay, but why did you get so drunk that somewhere in your mind you thought it was okay to do that? Why didn't you, like, I don't know, pass out on a curb or something? Or, like, try to find me? Nope, you just were like, I'm hammered. Perfect time to go make out with somebody else. Huh? That doesn't make any sense. I never understand that excuse. I'm like, well, I was drunk. Okay, I've been drunk a bajillion times, and I've never once cheated on a partner or even wanted to. If anything, I don't know about anybody else here, but when I'm drunk, I want my partner even more. When I'm hammered, I'm like, where is he? Where is he? I want to see him. Oh my God, I miss him so much. Blah, blah, blah. It's like all about him. Okay? So I don't know what the hell that's about. That's such a bullshit excuse to cheat on somebody that you love. It's just an excuse. Schwartz wants Katie to apologize for ruining his life, which is like listening to like a child. Be like, oh yeah? You want me to apologize? Well, how about you apologize for ruining my life, okay? You ruined my life. It's like, are you fucking 5? Are you 5 years old? Like, oh yeah? You want me to pick up the toy off the floor? How about next time you pick up the entire house for me, and I'll pick up the toy for you? It's like, grow up. He is literally a man-child. Jax is giving advice and saying it's not normal Schwartz cried 3 times at his own bachelor party. Agreed. Schwartz tries to talk to Katie, and Katie is like, no, we're not talking right now. And I appreciate that, and I think that Katie having Stassi there really helped her sit in her truth and what she really wanted, and validated, like, this is not the time and place. We're not having this conversation right now. We'll talk about it when we're sobered up. Like, you're acting like a psychopath. You're acting like a child. You're tripping over yourself, slurring your words. You're not even going to remember. If you can't even remember if you boned somebody, how are you going to remember the conversation that we're having right now? You're not going to. So, like, we're not having this conversation. And Jax tells everyone to leave and that Brittany needs to... Jax is walking out of the hotel room with all the girls and everybody, and it's like, you guys, we gotta go, we gotta leave, like, cut it out, like, we gotta go. And as they're walking down the hall, he's like, Brittany, you need to suck my dick. And he goes, I'm sorry, never mind, like, I'll go down on you. And Brittany says, thank you. And he says, now I have to go down on my girlfriend because of all this. I thought that was so funny. Brittany, let's go. You gotta suck my dick. Excuse me. All right, I'll go down on you. Fine. It's like, oh, now I have to go down on this girl because the rest of you guys suck. It's like, shut up. Go make her run some blocks and go suck her toes like you like to do. Katie says that she's not ready to talk to Schwartz when he's blackout drunk. Brittany asked Jax what happened in Vegas. And so Jax says that Schwartz came storming in to Jax and Carmen's room when Jax and Carmen were dating. So he comes in hammered, storms in with no clothes on at all, is butt naked, and was storming around in circles, storming around the room saying, I did something bad, I did something bad, I did something bad, and that he admitted to hooking up with a girl. And Stassi tries to tell Schwartz that what the issue is, and he rages about how Katie goes to the dark side once a month. He then starts talking shit about all the shitty boyfriends Stassi has had and storms out of the room. Which is like, okay, yeah, Stassi's fully aware of all the shitty boyfriends she's had. What does that have to do with what we're trying to talk about right in this moment? What does that have to do with what we're talking about right now? Her bad choices have nothing to do with this conversation. Katie asks if anyone finally feels like bad for her. Does like anybody finally see? And that's one thing that makes me so sad about Katie is, and myself included as a fan, okay, I've had the same issue. Little Red. I agree with all of what you've been saying. The toe sucking, he even likes the feet. Oh yeah, it's when he said like when they first started dating or whatever, like I think they were when they were at the trip, the RV trip this season, and she was telling Ariana that like he likes to have her run around the block with sneakers on and socks and then like take them off and then he sucks her toes. Ooh, diseases. Okay, that's a yeast infection of the mouth waiting to happen, okay? But I feel so bad for Katie because this is a conversation she continues to keep talking about. It's like, does everybody finally feel bad for me? Does everybody finally see like who the real Schwartz is and what the fuck I have to deal with all the time? And that just makes me so sad because that was a huge part of why they got divorced, is because everybody was like, oh, Schwartzy, poor Schwartzy, oh, poor Schwartzy. And it's like, no. Tom Schwartz is a devil person. He's just, I guess, better externally at hiding it. And he doesn't come off as much as a jackass like Jax does and Sandoval does, like a narcissistic kind of like douchebag, you know? It's more of like, oopsie, I made a boo-boo. Like, gosh darn it, I messed up today. Like, giving Pinocchio. Giving like, I got no strings to hold me down. Like, that is the vibe that this dumbass is constantly giving all the time. Whereas like the other guys are like very outwardly, like you can see that they're vindictive little shitheads. Whereas like with Schwartz, it's kind of like, oh, poor baby. Oh, it's okay that you made a doo-doo in your pants. It's okay. We'll go clean it up. It's fine, Bubba. Like, he doesn't mean to do that. Like, that's the vibe. Like, he doesn't mean to hit people. Like, ugh, I'm so sorry. Like, cut the crap. Okay, we're grown people now. So Sheena and Shay are talking a bit about Katie and Tom, and Sheena said it's a good thing that they're going to be getting a prenup, and she and Shay don't need one because what is Shay going to do? Empty out her bank account? When she said that, I was like, okay, foreshadowing. I'm like, that's exactly what he does. He literally emptied your bank account and was like, sayonara, mother trucker. I'm doing whatever the hell I want because I have music. I got music, bro. I was like, get effed, okay? If my partner ever did that to me, death to them all, okay? Stassi says Katie and Schwartz have been fighting this same way since the very beginning, and that Katie is always wanting support, and Schwartz makes fun of her and really, like, eggs her on. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Which makes me wonder, like, I never understood why Katie was friends with Schwartz. I never understood that. I never got that. Like, she was friends with Schwartz outside of Katie. And I think they might still be friends of some sort. And I never really understood that because Stassi always knew how he was and always called his ass out on shit, but stayed friends with him. I never, like, you know, for all of the things that Stassi was totally right about, I never understood the Schwartz relationship, like, literally ever. Katie calls LVP to tell her what's going on, and it's insane to me that while you're on vacation, you're calling Lisa. Like the Lisa part of it, this is the first season where we start getting to a point where it's like, why are we talking to Lisa? Why is Lisa involved in anything? Why are we trying to get approval from Lisa to do shit? Like it really, like I feel like when they started the Tom Tom restaurant thing, it was so that Lisa still had an in with this group. Lisa still had a way to control this group and have to give advice to this group, because otherwise, like, what else is she there for? Like, literally, what else is she there for? Nothing. So I think, like, having the restaurant with the Toms, she knew that she could manipulate them and she could somehow stay within, like, the posse, like the group and the, you know, all that stuff. Does that make sense? Like, I never, like, you're telling me so supposedly they're filming a brand new, like, Vanderpump Rules with a brand new cast that actually, like, work at the restaurant, okay? And you're trying to tell me that, like, Lisa Vanderpump is somehow involved in that? Like, she didn't give a shit about Sir, okay? I'm hoping they have somebody else, because she doesn't give two flying F's about Sir, okay? She's too busy in Vegas doing her Vegas thing, which is one of those things where it's like, okay, why aren't we making a Vegas show? Why aren't we taking Vanderpump Rules and turning it over to Vegas? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, sometimes I just sit there and I'm just like, why are the producers and the big money backed people over at Bravo not getting it? Like, it's right in front of your face. You have plenty of people to choose from. They could have done it when they had the Sheena doppelganger, okay? They could have done it after season 10 when they had Garcelle's son. They've had so many opportunities to do a show with a group of people over at the Vanderpump Garden in Vegas, and they continue to not do it. And I don't get it. We don't need another Sir show. We know that Lisa Vanderpump could give two shits about Sir. Okay, we know this because she continues to make new ventures outside of that. Okay, she doesn't care about that anymore. She's also too busy trying to figure out what the hell they're gonna do with the whole Pump and Tom Tom shit. Okay, because allegedly, according to Peter, Tom Tom is getting and it's turning back into Pump. She doesn't care about Sir. So it's like, why are we making a show like that? Like, she doesn't care, okay? She's off in Tuscany or whatever with Stassi trying to, you know, do that whole shit there. I just don't get why they're even going to try to do this. It does make sense. I didn't really see Lisa in this way until this last few seasons, especially after the whole Penny, Katie, and Ariana situation with something about her. Yeah, like, I don't know why she's never cared about the women. She's never supported them. She's never really, like, ride or died for the girls on this group. But with the guys, for whatever fucking reason, she will go to hell and back with them. And I don't understand why. She would have more success with these women than she would with the guys. The fact that she has never touched foot in something about her since it's been open is really fucked up to me. But she supported Dodo Brain 1 and Dodo Brain 2. Like, I think that Lisa Vanderpump helped with Penny so that way she could somehow have intel on something about her. That's just my opinion. I feel like Penny was like a spy. That's, like, allegedly, that's my opinion about that. So Stassi says all that, calling LVP. Everyone goes to the pool, but Stassi, Katie, and Kristen go to Stassi's childhood home. Her dad is selling her childhood home, and this is when we meet Stassi's grandmother, Rosemary, and she's like this fancy little icon. She's very stylish, and Stassi's like obsessed with her, and she's actually the one that gave Stassi her nickname, and says that Stassi is her favorite grandchild, which is so cute to me. Jax and Schwartz are talking at the pool, and Jax says he can't have another blow up, and that Schwartz needs to say sorry. Like, he can't have another hiccup, he can't have another blow up before the wedding, and that he needs to go apologize to Katie, like, immediately, as fast as possible. Again, why is Jax the voice of reason? Don't know. Stassi says no one can say Tequila Katie, like, ever again after what she just saw with Schwartz. And Katie says it's validating for everybody to finally see Schwartz at his worst, like she constantly sees all the time. And Schwartz goes to Katie's room to chat. Katie wants Schwartz to just admit that he hooked up fully with that girl in Vegas and that, you know, she's not a horrible monster, and again, just like validate her. And Schwartz asked to just drop the whole thing in Vegas and that Katie was horrible for like the first 2 years of their relationship. And Katie's like really trying to talk and have a full conversation, and he's not paying attention to her. He's drinking little nips. He's putting whipped cream in his mouth, and they just like, she's really trying. That's what's so frustrating, is that Katie's trying and wants to make things better and wants to fix things, but you can't fix anything until you admit what's going on. And he doesn't care. He doesn't fucking care about her. He doesn't care about her opinion. He doesn't care about her feelings. He didn't care about anything that she had. He just liked her being there. And that's all he wanted. Because I truly don't understand why he can't just admit what happened and validate her. Or just say, you know what, I don't remember. But if I did and I just don't remember, I will admit that. And I am so sorry I did that to you. I'm so sorry that I got to a point where I even was vulnerable enough to do something like that to you. That was wrong of me, and I'm so unbelievably sorry I did that to you. I will not do that again, and we need to work on our relationship a little bit better. And I'm so sorry that I wasn't listening and there for you like I should have been. But he doesn't care. He doesn't care, you guys. He's never cared about Katie. Ever. Ever. They agree to disagree and try to just move on and stop talking about each other in a bad way at all. And that they're just done with being negative towards each other and talking negatively about each other. ... That doesn't fucking happen. Final night, the whole crew gets together at a private lounge. This starts Sandoval's nasty nail polish journey, which is, the journey needs to end. Also, do we know where Sandoval is? Do we know where Sandoval is? I feel like we haven't seen him in a long time. Is he even doing his podcast anymore? I have lost, where's his girlfriend? The last thing I saw, his girlfriend was making comments about Raquel being like a pick-me. That's the last thing I saw. Schwartz wants to play spin the bottle one more time with everybody, and of course it lands on Sandoval, and they kiss. And listen, you guys, they kissed for a long time. I'm just saying. I had an epiphany. What if when Schwartz was cheating on Katie, it was actually Sandoval? Like, he was cheating on Katie with Sandoval. And they don't want to admit it, and they don't want to put it out there. So they're just like, oh yeah, I don't remember. And I don't remember. That 1000% didn't happen, but could you imagine? Oh my god, this Dunkin' Latte is so fucking good. So Stassi spins and ends up having to kiss Peter. And in 2010, they dated for 4 months. And Stassi was horrible and controlling, and Peter didn't like that, so they broke up. Peter and Ariana kiss, Ariana and Jax kiss, Sandoval and Katie kiss, which is really, really weird. And then Peter and Stassi end up making out. Kristen is smoking in the alleyway, which is you guys know, the beginning of all my videos says I could watch Kristen smoke cigarettes for hours. It's because I could, you guys. I genuinely could watch her smoke cigarettes for hours. I love chain smoking Kristen. She's the best Kristen out of all of the eras. Okay, if we're talking about eras of her, chain smoking Kristen's my favorite era. And Sandoval comes out in the alley, and it's so funny because they all smoke. I feel like they don't show a lot on the TV on the show, but they all smoke. Every single one of them. It's wild. They, for whatever reason, just only show Kristen and Sandoval smoking the most out of all of them. But they all do it. Which is why? Why? Literally, why? And so they're smoking in the alley, and she just starts calling Sandoval, randomly. Hey, can I have a cigarette, bro? Or can I have a lighter, bro? And she's like, yeah, here you go. You're an asshole. It's you've barely said 2 words to each other, and you're already calling him an asshole? Do we not understand how conversations work, girl? Girl. Oh, God. And starts calling him an asshole and asking why he talks shit to Carter. And Sandoval says he just came out to smoke. Kristen says, well, it's too bad. You just stepped into the swamp. I love Kristen. She is a demon. But fuck she's one of the best reality TV show people on this planet. Fight me, okay? She is on, in my opinion, the Mount Rushmore. I love her so much because you just never know what you're going to get with her. It's incredible. So Kristen says Carter knows everything and more than actually Sandoval does. And Sandoval says, yeah, 2 guys in 1 weekend. And just is like, ah. And it's like, okay, you're going to tell me that Kristen is the devil because she's hooked up with 2 guys in 1 weekend? You're telling me Sandoval's never done that? You're telling me that Sandoval's never had 2 girls in a day? Oh, okay. Get out of town. Get out of here. Kristen asks, what's the point of the comments? And Sandoval says he's just defending Schwartz and that Carter started shit like he was there for all of these moments. Sandoval says, let's just be cool, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Like, oh, God. Like, can we just be cool, bro? Like, God damn. Like, ugh. And they just decide to be like, whatever. Like, again, let's just agree to disagree. It's like, you're just going to keep hating each other. Who gives a shit at this point? LVP wants to open another restaurant and partner with someone to take off some of the pressure from them, which isn't Dodo Brain 1 and Dodo Brain 2. So I don't understand the logic behind that. It's like, I want to open another restaurant so that way somebody else can be like the Guillermo and what's her face. Like, oh, wouldn't that be great? It's like, not Tom and Tom. They didn't run that restaurant. All they did was pass out beer and was like an extra bartender for the day. They weren't doing anything. They weren't hiring. They weren't firing. They weren't taking care of the staff. They were just the faces. That's all they were. So I just like, this little cosplay of like, oh my God, restaurateurs, Tom and Tom, they're gonna be partners. Shut the fuck up. That was a bunch of crap and a crock of shit, in my opinion. And they first think of Sandoval. They don't even bring up Schwartz. They first bring up Sandoval and being like, oh, he's been a bartender for us for like 7 years. Like, oh, it's about time that we bring him on to something. Wouldn't that be great? It's like, no, that's the dumbest idea you've ever had as a brand business owner. Schwartz gives Katie a lap dance, and I'm not gonna lie, he did a really good job. Wherever they were, like the speakeasy or something, there was like a bed that pulled down, and like Katie's laying on it, and Schwartz is like doing his little dance and like, and I'm like, okay, like, why aren't we doing this more? Why aren't we having these experiences in our private time with Katie? Like, I feel like Katie is like a sexual person. Like, I'm trying to understand why you aren't having sex with her. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm not gonna lie though, it's really hot. Jack says if Katie won't have sex with Schwartz, that Sandoval will. So it's fine. Somebody will have sex with Schwartz. And let's be real, I don't think that's the issue. I don't think Katie is the one not having sex. I think it is Schwartz is the one that's not having the sex, in my opinion. And I know this sounds horrible, but I actually need Katie to describe in detail what an average sexual experience with Schwartz was like. Okay, I really need to, like, for research purposes, I just need to know what that is. I just feel like it's giving 2 beached whales. It's giving college students from BYU. It's giving, like, I don't get it. Someone explain to me how they did it. I just don't know, because it doesn't sound like fun. It didn't sound like it was ever fun. That's just me though. I don't know. Maybe Schwartz was like really putting the hammer down. Doesn't feel like that though. Doesn't feel like that. The girls decide that Schwartz is so drunk and hammered when they get back to the hotel room that they're going to draw penises on his face. And I said, listen, that's valid. That's what you get for being an asshole. You get little peepees drawn on your face. Soaking. Yes. Oh my God. Thank you, football cat. Soaking. It's giving soaking. It is giving soaking. That is what, and then like Sandoval's just in the background shaking the bed. And it's like, yeah, get it. And they're so lazy. They can't even hump each other. So Sandoval's just like shaking the bed while they're soaking. So disgusting. Shay is trying to talk to Sheena honestly, and while she's packing about like everything that kind of happened over the weekend, over the vacation there, and Sheena is just not listening at all, continues to keep packing and like literally not listening to a damn thing that he says. And him being sober, he truly sees, he says that like because he's sober, he really actually gets to see everybody's horrible behavior and has open eyes with who and how they are. And I really think the group should listen to Shay more because he's like the only sober one around all of them. And like half the trip, Shay didn't go on like anything with them. And it was like an excuse, but it was like, no, he's not going because he's sober. And the fact that you allowed him to come to this and like showed up with him, like Shay just should have stayed home. And everybody would have understood. They would have been like, yeah, Shay, it's totally fine. Like we totally get it. Like I understand. But like, Sheena's like, we have to go. Like if you don't go, people are gonna think something's going on. Like, you have to come. Like, oh my God. Like, she like forced him to go. And it's like, he shouldn't have gone. He should have stayed the fuck home doing his little music producer sessions, okay, in the back rooms of someone's garage, okay, in the basements of mommies, okay. Episode 18, okay, an hour and 10 minutes in, we've only done 2 episodes. This is where we're at, you guys. Jax and Sandoval tell LVP the bachelor party was a shit show and all Tom and Katie did was fight the whole time. Kristen has her dog Gibson as a service dog so she can bring him everywhere. Icon behavior. Only icons, okay? Only icons in the building. Kristen is forcing Stassi to get on a dating app, and she's very desperate and realizes that she is a very basic bitch. Cut to her book about being a basic bitch. Katie and Schwartz go over to visit LVP and ask her if she would officiate the wedding, and they have a man in a tuxedo come and request her to be the officiant of said wedding. She should have gone with her gut and not officiated this goddamn fucking cursed wedding. But again, we'll talk about it in a minute, okay? In a couple minutes, actually, probably like an hour. LVP is very surprised and says that she is very worried, she's worried that they don't take marriage very seriously, like she does. And clearly she does. Like, I gave LVP a lot of shit, but her and Ken, like, whatever they have, whatever their rules are to their marriage, whatever the roles are in each other's lives, like, they clearly have a bond with each other that is an agreeable, consensual bond. And it works for them. And they take what they have seriously. And I appreciate that. And I agree with her. Like, you two clearly don't give a shit about each other. And it's almost your wedding. Well, first of all, it's 2 weeks to your wedding and you're now just getting an officiant. Like, huh? And that part didn't make sense to me. But it's almost 2 weeks or a week and a half away from your wedding and you guys are miserable. Like, why would I want to officiate a cursed wedding? It doesn't make any sense to me. And she's very disappointed in them. And LVP says she can't say yes right now. She needs to see the growth. And I'm like, you need to see growth in 2 weeks? That doesn't make any sense. It's one of those things where it's like, this is produced. This is the produced bullshit that is annoying and like slaps you across the face. It's like, she was going to officiate this wedding come hell or high water no matter what was going on for the show. Like, how... Oh, I can't officiate your wedding until I see improvements. A week before their wedding? They're not going to see any improvements. There is no improvements. Like, are you kidding me right now? That made no sense to me. The whole crew decides to go to the beach all together, and Stassi went on a date and made out with a guy, like, all night. And Katie and Tom tell everyone about LVP saying no, and Sandoval says LVP had the balls to tell them that they shouldn't get married, kind of like how they should all be telling, like, she's the only one apparently that's like looked them dead in the eye and been like, do not get married. And the rest of them are kind of like too scared to do it. LVP and Ariana go horseback riding together, and LVP asks if she wants to marry Tom, and she says no, she really doesn't. And LVP says to talk to her in 5 years to see if that changes. And it's like, yep, that changed. That definitely changed. She ended up not marrying him and definitely didn't have kids with him. Thank God they did not have children together. Stassi is going on a date after 7 years of being in a relationship, like on and off relationships. And her date is with this guy named David. And he's very nice and he's very sweet. And he likes to hike and he works in the tech world. And he wakes up at 7 a.m. And Stassi is like, abso-fucking-lutely not. I don't, what? Waking up at 7 a.m.? Hiking? No, we don't do that here. They're laughing and having a great time, and Stassi says he could have kidnapped and murdered her, and she gives him a handshake and a hug, and it's just like a big nope on her part. And it just validates more that Beau is truly like her soulmate. Beau is Stassi's soulmate. They're perfect for each other. He loves how quirky and weird she is and awkward and loves to talk about murder and all that stuff. Like, they're just so good together, and they really do match each other so well. And I just love Beau. And I can't wait for Beau to come on the show because I can't wait for Beau season. I love Beau so much, okay? Katie and Tom talk about eating a lot and having fat sex, aka lazy sex. Again, validation of the soaking. Okay, that's me getting validated that I think they soak. Okay. The Sir photo shoot date happens and Katie is in charge this year, and they are doing a big table full of food and a big pig and flowers everywhere. Sheena is texting and bitching about the photo shoot and like, oh my god, the pig, like, oh my god, I don't want to be near that pig, like that's crazy, like I don't want to be near that, like it's like staring at me. It's like, it's plastic, shut up, you're fine. Katie and Sheena sit down and Sheena feels left out of the wedding stuff and she wants to make one-on-one time with Katie, and Katie really had like a bit of a soft spot. I feel like Katie's always kind of had a soft spot for Sheena. Like she always called her like her little bean, which I thought was so cute. And they've kind of always had a soft spot for each other. And it's just really sad that they're not friends at all anymore because Sheena was awful. Sheena was awful in season 11. Absolutely awful. Ariana and Sandoval get niggered. And they get on top of the table and they take a little photo shoot of them on top of the table with like the pigs and the fruits and the flowers and all that stuff. Very sexy, very sexy. Katie and Schwartz do photos together and they just look so beautiful, and it's just so depressing. Like Schwartz dropped the ball so hard. And they do the big photo shoot with everybody, and it's giving like the Last Supper kind of vibes. And like James and Lala have not been in like watching that photo shoot, I was like, oh my god, James and Lala have literally not been in like 2 episodes. Like 2 full episodes, they didn't show like a glimpse of the 2 of them. I was like, damn, okay. And LVP decides she is going to officiate the wedding, and Tom and Katie think they've like gotten a lot better, and that issue at the bachelor party was just like a blip. And it's like, it's not a blip, not even a blop. It's still there. Giant thing. Episode 19. I have a note literally that says 3 more episodes till the reunion, god damn it. And we're not even going to talk that much about the reunion because we didn't learn a lot from the reunion, to be honest with you. Sandoval is playing his stupid ass trumpet. I hate that thing, okay? I hate that thing, and I hate the penis flute. Sandoval and Jax want to fly in Schwartz's triplet brothers who live at Schwartz's parents' house, and they all live in one room. And they realize that it's going to cost about $2,000 just to get this all set up and to surprise Schwartz. Now listen, I talk a lot of shit about these 3 dudes, okay? I do. That is the nicest thing. I cannot believe that they did that, especially Jax. Like, I can see Sandoval because Sandoval's a love bomber. He love bombs his friends. He love bombs the person he's dating. That's just Sandoval, okay? He's a love bomber, and he loves to be the kind of guy that people can be like, oh my god, do you remember when he did that for us? Oh my god, can you believe that he did this for us? That's Sandoval. Jax, though, I was shocked Jax did this willingly. Absolutely shocked. I was like, wow, okay. Brittany spills and ends up telling Kristen when their bridesmaid dress fitting, Brittany ends up spilling her guts and telling Kristen what happened. And it's like, oh my god, don't tell anybody. I don't think anybody's supposed to know that they're gonna fly the guys in. Like, I don't think anybody's supposed to know. It's like, out of all the people you tell fucking Kristen, dear god. And that they're gonna pay for the whole thing. This is also really funny to me because they're getting the bridesmaid dress fitting, and Kristen is just pounding champagne the entire time this is going on. She's just like, yeah, yeah, sure. Oh my god, we're so pretty. Girl, you're getting fitted for a wedding dress. Calm down, okay? Calm down. Dylan's Candy Bar is definitely getting a call out on this show. They're getting some type of deal, just like Kyle Chan. Okay, they're a part of the wedding mess in this group, okay? Because they went to go pick out candies at Dylan's Candy Bar. Somebody knows Dylan, okay? The bridesmaids dresses. I can't decide if I like them or hate them. I like the color. I love the color of the bridesmaids dresses. They were like this like purpley gray toned, like at least on camera. I don't know about in real life, but they were given like this silver purple grayish tone, and they looked like the color tone was so beautiful on everybody. It also kind of didn't really make sense to like none of the color, the color themes, like the men are wearing dark green and the girls are wearing this like silver. I don't know. It didn't make any fucking sense to me, but I guess like I think LVP picked most of this out for them, which is so funny, which gives more validation that I'm pretty sure LVP paid for this goddamn wedding. But the thing that I didn't like about the dresses is that they were so ill-fitting around the bust area. They looked so tight around the booblet area that people who were bustier, like Brittany, it looked like the seam was about to just go, like, I don't know. It didn't, and it covered too much of the boobs on some of, like, some of the girls' boobs were covered too much, so it looked so, like, two basketballs at times. I don't know, and I didn't like where the cut was, like, where the seam was. Like, I think if I remember correctly, there was a seam in the middle, and that didn't make any sense to me. I don't know, they were kind of weird, but the colors were beautiful. Sheena says she is going to a fertility doctor, and Jack says Sheena and Shay have to be in the same room to actually, like, make a baby, and they're, like, never together. So how the fuck are they going to be making a baby together and going to get fertility treatments? That makes no sense at all. Jack tells LVP about Sheena and Shay possibly having kids. He says Sheena can do way better, and he doesn't want to be in the delivery room helping Sheena because Shay is in the stew. Shay's in the stew, so, like, I need help with my baby. And it's like, well, that didn't happen. So Saucy does a little sexy photo shoot. Brittany admits to Jax that she told Kristen about the triplets, and Jax is super stressed out. James is back. Rachel brings James over to see her mom and sister. And the table and chairs in the kitchen at Rachel's mom's house is very medieval style. James tells them that he got fired, and he says he got into situations at work, but that he was in a new gig and he isn't drinking, and he really loves Rachel and her family. And James starts crying and asking for their trust. And again, like, say what you want about James. The man gives it all on camera, okay? He is probably a little prick, okay? But man, oh man, he is giving, like, the most on camera. Like, that's one thing that they talk about in the reunion, is that, like, how everybody else is really showing up and giving like, who they are on camera and showing everything for the most part, and Lala doesn't. And James is definitely one of those people that he shows sometimes too much on camera, that I'm like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't talk about that on camera. But he gives his all, and I appreciate, as someone who loves reality TV, I do appreciate that when someone really comes to the table giving everything that they have, you know, and showing us their full lives, full circle. I really do appreciate that. Everyone's getting ready to leave for the wedding venue. They're going up ahead of time and bringing the cake. And I can't believe that the cake is going to last that long, because when they go up, I think they're 2 days away from the wedding. So I'm like, are they putting it in a I think they put it in a freezer. Lala shows up to the restaurant, and Ariana hasn't seen Lala in 2 months. Okay. And Lala says she misses Ariana and was in Utah for about a month. Okay. Lala apologizes for being horrible to Ariana and that she goes MIA when she's having a really hard time. For a month? You go MIA for a month? Not even a text, not even a call, not even a video? I call bullshit. Lala says she's coming to SUR to officially tell LVP that she isn't going to be working at SUR anymore. Girl, were you ever working at SUR? Like, I feel like, again, it's giving cosplay. Okay, it's giving cosplay as a waitress / whatever the hell she was. Lala sits down with LVP and says she shuts down and runs away. LVP feels very disappointed, and she's upset that Lala is just not being honest. And that's half the issue with the group, is that Lala gives little breadcrumbs, and then once the crew calls bullshit on the breadcrumbs, she can't handle it. And it's like, okay, either don't talk about your life, don't mention anything about yourself, or you need to start being honest and saying what's really going on. You can't have it both ways. That's the problem with Lala. Lala's definitely one of those people who can dish it, but man, oh man, the bitch cannot take it. She cannot take it at all. She's constantly in defense mode. And that sucks, because that comes from, usually when people are very defensive, it comes from something. As someone who is a defensive person, it usually comes from somewhere. So I just feel really bad that that's where Lala feels like she has to be. I feel really bad for her about that. Lala says she has horrible anxiety, and the only thing that fixes it is to be with her family, which I get that. I totally understand that. But, like, for a month, with not talking to anybody, that's the part that I'm like, I call bullshit. We finally find out the total cost of the wedding. Any guesses? Guess now. While I'm opening my kettle corn. In the comment section below, guess how much this wedding costs. No one answers below. No one comments. I'm going to throw some popcorn in my mouth before I tell you. Oh my god, this is so freaking good. This is not sponsored. Alright. Little Red for the win. $51,000. $51,000. And Dodo Brain wanted it to cost only $10,000. Okay. I don't understand how it's possible that they paid for this. These are the choices. Okay, these are our options. Option 1, credit cards. Even that makes no fucking sense. Okay, because that would be like multiple credit cards. Option 2, Bravo and LVP paid for it. What are other choices there? They did not pay for this wedding. You have got to be crazy. When they went and had the prenup and they said how much they have in their bank account, it barely added up to $4,000. So how are they paying for a $50,000 wedding? It makes no sense. Schwartz and Katie decide that they're going to split the cost. And Schwartz points out that they could have used that money to pay off all of his student loans. And it's like, listen, when I was 20-something, when I got married the first time and I was 25 years old, I was very much like, I want to get married, I want to have a wedding, like, oh my god, but I had the shittiest, like, marriage, okay? And then when I got remarried when I was 31, something like that, I got married on my friend's porch. And there was only 6 people there, including me and my husband. And now I have a great marriage. And that's because I would rather have a great marriage and save and have money for our kid that we ended up having with IVF, and then a house, like the space that we have now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't realize until you get a little bit older, like, weddings don't mean shit if you have a shit marriage. You know, they don't mean anything. So, like, I get they want to have this wedding, but it's like, you paid all that for a shit marriage. Like, that's what it is. That's what sucks. It's like, you really need to start deciding, are you going to waste $50 grand on a partner that you're going to get divorced from? Like, that sucks. That really, really sucks. The bridesmaids and groomsmen all stay in a cabin together. The next day before the wedding, Tom Sandoval missed his plane. Schwartz's dad can't come to the wedding. His sister has work and his brothers don't have the money, but he doesn't know that his brothers are going to be there. I just kind of like, I'm like, how last minute was this wedding planned that Schwartz couldn't have like half of his family there? Like, that's kind of like, I don't know, that was really weird and sad to me. Like, I wouldn't get married if I couldn't have my family there. How are you getting married without most of your family there? I don't understand how that worked out. I really don't get that. We find out Schwartz's brothers share one phone between the 3 of them. I'm like, that's nice. How do you get a hold of all these idiots? How do they date? They clearly don't. Shay is not excited to come to the wedding at all and is constantly calling Sheena dude. If my partner calls me dude, what are you, 5? We're not, dude. What are you, 13? What up, dude? I'm not your dude. I'm your wife. Like, don't talk to me like that. LVP is bitching about the hotel rooms that they're in and that they're like in the middle of nowhere. And they have to stay. They usually stay in like massive hotel rooms, like the one they stayed at in Dubai on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which was basically like a house. It wasn't even a hotel. It was literally a house inside of a hotel. It was massive. And Ken is convinced that Schwartz won't go through with this marriage. And technically he didn't. We'll talk about it. Sandoval made it to the gate for his plane as they were closing the door and missed the flight completely. And literally Ariana was on the plane being like, bye, see ya, au revoir. Like, you couldn't have let the guy on the plane. Like, goddamn. Schwartz's brothers missed their flight as well. And Jax is like freaking out and says that they are quote unquote stupid fucks. Episode 20, the wedding party day thing. Jax is losing his shit over the triplets not getting onto the plane and how much money that is going to cost them to rebook flights, because they're missing connecting flights because they're coming from Florida to California. So there's a connecting flight in the middle. Well, now that they are backed up, they lost their connecting flight. Sheena says Shay's behavior is super off lately. And him being sober around a bunch of drunk people sounds like that might be why he's a little off, in my opinion. Sandoval finally makes it from the airport, and he ends up taking a car, and he ended up driving there instead of getting on a plane. So he rented a car, and on the way, he was able to pick up 12 packs of Coors, 10 packs of Blue Moon, and pretty much like redeem himself for missing the goddamn plane. And basically, the reason why he missed the plane is because he had to go back to the house to go get his tux because he forgot it. But I bet you remembered everything else. Because I will say this, Sandoval is like the MacGyver, okay, of groomsmen. He's fantastic at being a groomsman. He should start a business being a groomsman. He'd be better at that. The wedding venue is right next to a railroad track in the middle of the woods, which is really funny considering that Brittany and Jax's wedding was right next to a highway, so that was funny. This wedding is really depressing to me because Katie and Schwartz clearly do love each other very, 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 very much, but Schwartz just couldn't, for whatever reason, just support his wife, and it really, like, him not being supportive was truly, like, the detriment of their marriage, 1,000%. Brittany mentioned she wants to get married at a castle in Kentucky, which they do get married at said castle in Kentucky. Stassi and Sandoval are the best man and maid of honor. Sandoval says when Schwartz first brought Katie home, Sandoval put a bunch of porn pictures on his door so that when he closed it, Katie would see it. Yeah. Jax has a crush on Kim, which is Schwartz's mom. You know, Schwartzy's mom has got it going on. Remember that phase? Remember that phase of Sandoval? Schwartz got his mom a diamond ring as a thank you to her for coming. I'm like, why are you nicer to everybody except for Katie? I don't get it. Stassi's mom is at the wedding and asks Stassi when she is going to have sex, and she confesses that the guy that she just spent time with went down on her 7 times, and 2 of those times she cried. I mean, get it, girl. Stassi and Sandoval and the maids is so funny. They hate each other. Oh, yeah. But they had to be because Kristen couldn't walk with Sandoval. That's why that worked out that way. But also, like, Stassi and Sandoval as the best man and maid of honor makes sense for this group of people. Bill, Bert, and Brandon show up, and Sandoval gets them all dressed up and out of the way so that way they can surprise them at the rehearsal. They can surprise Schwartz at the rehearsal dinner. And Jax and Sandoval surprise him, and they're like, oh, you know, we're so sad that you couldn't have your brothers here, but they wanted to give you a surprise. It's like the first brother comes out, and they're like, oh, we have another surprise for you. And then the second brother comes out, and then, oh my goodness, and then the third brother comes out, and they're like sobbing. It's the most beautiful thing ever. Even Jax is crying. I was like, this is so amazing. This is so sweet. And like, those 3 bastards really do love each other. The Toms and Jax, like, their messed up, disgusting world, they really do give a shit about the 3 of like each other. And like, if they could commit to women as much as they commit to each other, they'd have successful marriages and relationships. Okay? Now all 3 of them are alone for their shit choices. Just want to put that out there. Schwartz clearly loves his family and cares so much about them. I wonder how Katie's dad feels about Schwartz now. I've always kind of thought about that. And we find out that Katie's parents literally have not been like in the same room with each other for 4 years. And they're at the wedding together. Like, yikes. LVP talks to Sheena about her and Shay, and Sheena says, everything's amazing, and like the sparks are totally back. And it's like, no, they're not, you're a liar. Schwartz at the time was 34, and I think Katie was like 31 or 32 when they got married. Morning of the wedding, girls are all together getting ready, and the boys are going fishing. Of course, Katie and Schwartz both haven't finished their vows yet, which is not shocking. Katie's very calm while getting ready, and I'm convinced that she's high. Like, I'm convinced that Katie Maloney took an edible, because I could not believe out of all the days for Katie to not be a menace and like freaking out and being dramatic. Her wedding day was not one of those days. I'm like, this girl took an edible, because the whole time she's just kind of like glazed over. Like, she doesn't look like high, like this kind of high. She's just kind of like, I'm like, girl, you're glazed. You can't convince me that you're not glazed. You 1000% are. Kristen is on her maid of honor shit, making sure that everything for Katie's all set, and she'll do whatever she has to do for Katie. Jax is on triplet duty, which, why? Why is Jax on triplet duty? Because you know that he's like, get over here, fuckers. Get your outfits on, you little bitches. Like, he's being such a dick. You know that Jax is just berating them the whole time. It's like, why are you doing this? Put a goddamn tie on. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like a grumpy old man. That's Jax. Schwartz didn't shower and is not going to shower for his wedding and decides to take a lake bath. Would you marry someone that took a lake bath? I just have a question. Like, would you marry lake bath person, What? Oh, I already knew that. Don't care. Sandoval is... saw that one. Okay. I talked about how the way that Schwartz like holds his pen when he's writing his vows, it looks like a child's writing. It's like, thank you. I try. I'm very good at making impressions of these three idiots. Katie is trying to get into her wedding dress, and they had to cut out the boning of the dress because she was filling up so much the night before on tacos, because they did a taco bar before, like, at the rehearsal dinner. Schwartz and Sandoval should have gotten married, is what my note says here, because they truly are the most committed couple out of all the couples on this show. Like, hands down, the two of them were the most committed couple on the planet, like, ride or die. Like, you want to talk about ride or die couples, it was the Toms. To the death, honestly. Except for, I wonder if they're still friends right now, like, everyday talking friends. Katie does her dress reveal, and she looks so gorgeous, and her hair, and the lacy dress. It definitely reminded me of, like, Twilight. Like, that's the vibe. It reminded me of, like, the Twilight movies. That's what she kind of looked like to me. She just looks so beautiful. My friend told me, man, I thought it was tobacco, it had THC. I took a big hit of it. I felt crazy as hell. Had to leave work. I feel like Katie might have hit the vape on her wedding. Ariana's in a suit, and she looks so cute. She looks gorgeous. Katie's dad is, like, sobbing, crying, and is, like, so happy for her. And Sandoval is holding the dog during the wedding, and it's giving me, if you guys have seen the show Friends, and at Phoebe's wedding, and Ross is holding the dog and, like, is constantly, like, rubbing it on his face, but also is saying, like, thinks that, like, the dog's dead, or, like, its pulse is going, like, too slow or something. It's so funny. All right, episode 21, the finale, you guys. We flipping made it to the finale. Holy crap, how many videos later have we made it to the finale? So Katie's brothers are there, and they're very handsome. Katie's brothers are very good looking. Katie has the biggest smile on her face, and you can just tell that she's just so in love with Schwartz, and it just makes me so angry. Because I really do think they could have been together for a very long time if he just wasn't a piece of shit. Schwartz has vows that he's ready to do, and then he, like, rips them. Like, he's like, oh, vows, and then rips them, and then says, never mind, I do need them, and then pulls them out of his thing. And honestly, Schwartz wrote, like, a beautiful speech and is really, really good with words when he has them, like, practiced and, like, ready to read. And Schwartz is, like, making all these crying noises and is sobbing. And Katie's speech is so sweet, and lots of her mentioning of, not imagining her life without Tom. And it's just, like, their vows were so beautiful. They were so beautiful. And it's just like, oh, like, come on. Like, it just makes me so sad that they're not together anymore. The members of Friends are looking very old now. Yeah, they are. They're getting up there. I think they're in their 60s now. I think most of them. They're older. They're getting up there. They're not old, but so it's party time, and Stassi says Tom and Katie are the couple that holds the group together, and I kind of agree with that. Like, she kind of talks about how, like, everybody thought Stassi and Jax were the couple that really held the crew together, but it really is, like, everybody loves Schwartz and everybody loves Katie. Well, at least the girls love Katie. And they really are, like, the couple that everybody constantly comes back to, and I totally agreed with her on that. LVP convinces Peter to go grab Stassi and have Stassi wait on LVP for dinner, which was so funny. Jax ripped the crotch of his pants and says he needs more dick room for his groomsman outfit. LVP brings up to Sandoval about partnering up for a new restaurant, and Sandoval's like crying. He's like, "Oh my god, this is so crazy, this is so amazing, like, bro, like, I'm so happy, like, I can't believe this, like, whoa, bro." And I'm like, come on. Out of all the people in that group, he's the one you want to start a restaurant with? I call bullshit. The triplets come up and give these really big drunk speeches, and they call Schwartz Tommy, which is so interesting because clearly everybody calls him Schwartz, but his brothers all call him Tommy. And Tommy's like a dog's name. It's like someone calling me Sammy. I'm like, I'm not a dog. I'm an adult woman. Call me Sam, please. Billy decides he's going to make 2 speeches and calls Schwartz a pimp in one of his speeches. Sandoval makes his speech, and he's giving his vows to Schwartz, basically, and doesn't say anything about Katie. Not one thing from his speech is about Katie. And while Stassi ends up mentioning them both. So that just tells you something. Old, or do you want to go young? I only get scared of being, this is not on topic, but I only get scared of being old because I want to be with my kids forever. That's all. Other than that, I'm kind of just like, it is what it is, you know? Harbor Party is a band that is doing the wedding. They're basically like yacht rock music, which I feel like yacht rock is definitely a Vanderpump Rules genre. I see that. Yeah, that's right. Katie's mom calls him Tommy as well. It's so weird that they call him Tommy. I just don't think of him as a Tommy. It's like so weird to me. Jax and Brittany sit down, and Jax tries to pull a little scare on Brittany and is like, our relationship really isn't going anywhere, and like I think we really need to just joking. And Brittany's like, are you kidding me, Jax? Like, stop it. And she says she's gonna she says that she was about to cut his dick off and give it to the chickens. I was like, that's right, girl, cut that dick right off. And Jax says he definitely plans on marrying Brittany 100%, which we come to find out that does happen, but now they're getting divorced. Sandoval and Ariana sit and talk, and he tells Ariana about the LVP partnership with possibly Schwartz. Sandoval says he never met someone he wanted to have kids with other than Ariana, and he asks if one day maybe they could get married, but Ariana says she doesn't really know, aka no, that's not happening. Yacht rock is like, God, how do I explain yacht rock? It's white people shit. Like, it's just white people shit. That's all you need to know. You're not missing out on anything. Their wedding was 10 times smoother than Sheena and Shay's wedding. And there was a lot less yelling. No party planners were getting berated. No one was going to their walk. No one had to like redo the walk music. Like, it was definitely more chill. And Sheena has no clue where Shay is. LVP says Schwartzy could join in and be like he could kind of be the front man of the restaurant, be like the Guillermo, and then Sandoval could be more like Lisa, and that they could call it Tom Tom. And I've heard Lara from Sex Unique podcast say this, that literally these dumbasses literally fail upward. Like, when we, as the normal people, fail, we fail downward. Nope, these two, they constantly are fucking up, doing stupid shit, failing at all times. Schwartz can't even, like, fill up a drink without having a panic attack, okay? But they get a restaurant. Make that make sense to me. Stassi and Ariana talk, and Stassi wants Ariana to like her so badly, and Ariana is crying and trying not to be considered like a failing 30-year-old bartender and trying to work hard on her cocktail book. And it's like, girl, you have no idea. Your future is so bright. It is glimmering. It is glimmering. You're on Broadway, girl. You're on Broadway. You're on Love Island. Like, Ariana had no clue how just absolutely incredible she is and what she's doing right now. Her and Katie. Like, they're so much better off without these bozos. Ariana and Stassi agree that they both love murder and that they're just like gonna work on their relationship and kind of be like besties. And they do work on their relationship for a little while there. Schwartz surprised with bringing his... Sandoval surprises Schwartz with bringing his trumpet to play with the band, and he blows it directly in one of the bass players' ears, and they get pissed, and they're like, bro, stop. Like, you're such a loser. Schwartz and Sandy and Jax are all drunk, talking about how much they love each other, and Sandoval never thought he'd be friends with Jax ever again, and that they're kind of like, they're ride or die besties and love each other so much. His partner was on top of it. I thought it was weird. I actually know a lot of people that have restaurants where they live on top of the restaurant. My family members actually do. LVP signs the marriage license and gives it to Schwartz, And Schwartz is like, yeah, I'll take care of it. Cut to 70s easy listening music. There you go. That's pretty much what it is. It's not bad music, but it's giving white people music. So LVP signs the marriage license, gives it to Schwartz, and is like, hey, here's the thing. You need to take care of it. And, you know, LVP's like, oh, don't give it to Schwartzy. Like, give it to Katie. And Katie's like, no, he'll figure it out. He'll work it out. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to know this, just pause for a second, okay? Spoiler alert. He doesn't bring the marriage license back. AKA, Schwartz and Katie are not legally fucking married. And they weren't legally married. I'm not joking you. I'm pretty sure someone fact checked this. They were not legally married for 2 fucking years after their wedding. The fuck? Like, if I found out that my person did that, I would lose my mind. I would be like, perfect, great sign that we shouldn't be fucking married. And they don't get married, and they weren't legally married for 2 years. Are you kidding me? So black screen, okay, black screen fading. 3 months later, Sheena goes to LVP's house to chat with her about her and Shay, which also, like, why? Why LVP? Like, again, this is like a reach. We're like reaching to keep LVP fucking relevant on the show. Sheena found out that Shay has been MIA for 6 days, and they have not lived together for almost 2 weeks. LVP says their whole marriage is bullshit, and Shay's addiction was a catalyst for that. Shay is back to doing pills. Sheena checked her bank account and saw that he cleared her bank account clear of over $7,000. LVP says Sheena is young enough to start over again, which LVP fucking hated Shay. Like, clearly, like, literally hated her, like, hated his guts. Sheena says she is done and asking Shay for a divorce. Shay comes to the apartment to talk to Sheena, and Sheena wants to know why he wasn't home. And Shay says she never listens, and leaving was to get her attention. Shay says he's not on drugs. He says none of Sheena's friends and family respect him, and Sheena's what? Well, eyes all worked up. I don't know what I was trying to say there. But basically, like, her friends and family members don't respect him at all, and he's getting really tired of it. Shay says all the money coming out of the account was for his music and for the studio fees that he was doing. It wasn't for drugs or anything like that. But Sheena is convinced that that is what happened. And she says that she has a friend that knows for a fact that he was using the money for drugs, that it was not for the studio fees. Sheena drops a bomb on Shay on camera. Okay, mind you, he didn't know this was happening. He didn't know that he was going to go on the show and get broken up with on fucking camera. Okay, and you can tell that he is devastated, completely heartbroken, and did not see this coming at all, which is so unbelievably sad. And I hate that she did that to him. Sheena says she can get his stuff and that he can leave, and I just can't believe that they didn't have a conversation. And, like, Sheena's so addicted to having her stuff on camera and being on this reality TV show that I really don't think she thought ever about Shay and his feelings. And it's just kind of, I don't know, it was one of those times where I was very, very, very disappointed in Sheena watching that episode back. I was like, oh, wow, you really didn't give a shit about Shay's feelings, did you? You just wanted to get it on camera. And because he had no clue that they were going to get divorced on, like, they were going to have that conversation on camera. He did not know that was happening. And that makes me really sad for him. But he's living his own happy life. All right, so the Vanderpump Rules reunion, we'll do a quick little recap of this. So Stassi ended up going to Bora Bora for the for Tom and Katie's honeymoon. Which is fucking weird. Jax and James sit next to each other, which was basically brilliant by the producers and was hilarious. Sandoval finally cuts his hair. Everyone says that Sandy was a very pretty girl. Andy forgets to say hi to Kristen, which was so fucking funny. I thought that was hilarious. Kentucky Muffin talk. Kristen went down on Brittany, and Jax says they were naked, and Brittany says that they just made out, and Jax basically has, like, zero remorse for the situation. Katie did 99% of the wedding. Schwartz thought that they could get it down to 10 They could do a wedding for $10,000 in just a week. Sheena says she doesn't regret not getting a prenup, but LVP says Shay did nothing in that relationship. Jackson and Brittany moved down the hall from Schwartz and Katie, and Sandoval talked him basically into it. The air conditioner leaked in their apartment, and Jax got so pissed and ended up yelling at the apartment officers, or like the apartment people basically, that he basically like kicked himself out. He was like, fuck you guys, we're leaving. And they were like, well, fuck you, bye. Everyone laughs at James. And it says that, basically he's a piece of shit, but it's like, look at him. He's playing Coachella, which is what he's always wanted to do. He is flying all over the world, has a tour. Like, he's doing great for himself, even though they all made fun of him for being like a little fucking DJ. It's like, he's thriving. Katie and Stassi talk about being super scared on Pride Day. Katie texted, I'm sure there is a better way to show support to the LGBTQIA community. I don't necessarily disagree with her, but the gays love to party. So let them, if that's how they want to show their love and support with each other, go let them party and go enjoy that with them. It's really not up to us to decide as straight people how that community celebrates or acknowledges their pain and their grief in moments. It's really not our journey to be doing that. Ariana says, as an ally, it felt weird to just sit at home during Pride when every day is an act of bravery for this queer community, which I agree with her. Lala shows up and calls Andy Pappy. Apparently she has a tattoo around her nipple. That's a heart. Did not know that. Katie says a lot of issues with Lala started with her engagement party. Lala says it started when she started at SUR, which I kind of like. It started when she started at SUR, but it escalated at the engagement party. When she had like the friggin' poof little hairstyle and was like, can we wrap it up? Can you wrap it up? And was like drunk. Lala says Schwartz has a big D, that everyone is an old has-been, and without her, there wouldn't have been a show. Sweetie, you were barely on the season. There was plenty of show without you. Plenty of show. You missed 2 episodes. You weren't in 2 episodes. They were fine without you. She said Katie and Schwartz will get divorced, and Lala says she's trying to be hurtful, and she kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed and decided that she needed to bite back. Kristen says James talked shit about Lala until him and Lala ended up hooking up. And the Witches of WeHo won't admit they started problems and never admit anything and never really say sorry. But Katie ends up saying sorry. Schwartz is a little bitch and can never take Katie's side. Sandoval then screams at Katie like an asshole. Andy went and spoke to the cooks at SUR in what was giving Spanish. It was giving Dorit. It was giving Hola, ¿cómo estás? Y tú? Like, it wasn't giving flow. It was like he just learned it out back. It was like, okay, that's what we're going to say in Spanish. Here you go. And it's like, no, por favor, sí, señor. It's like, what are you doing? You look like an idiot. And Andy asked who's the best looking of the group. And they say Katie. And I was like, that's what I'm fucking talking about. They knew. These cooks knew Katie was that girl. Okay, Katie's that girl. They say Kristen is crazy and Jax is bad for Brittany and always steals stuff from the restaurant. James still sticks with he didn't sleep with anybody, and that he's always been really good, and that Gigi just wanted to be on the show. And James says he didn't sleep with Allie while he was with Rachel. James admits he was going to get on the show no matter what was going on, whether that was he was going to move in with Sandoval or he was going to hook up with Kristen. Didn't matter. He was going to find a way to be on the show. Stassi says James is like Gigi, and James tells Stassi to shut up. And it only took 1 year for her to come crawling back on the show, and then proceeds to crawl on the floor, and everybody laughs. And even Stassi was like, okay, you got me on that one. That was pretty funny. Katie apologizes to Lala and was very sincere with the apology, and I actually really appreciated it. And Lala and Katie, kind of ended up crying during that conversation. It was very authentic, and I appreciated that. Katie knows she took out a lot of her anger on Lala because she was really struggling, and so Lala really took a lot of the brunt of that. LVP hates Kristen. Jax and James are truly the same person. Literally, Brittany can do no wrong in this group. Like, Brittany is truly an angel sent from heaven above. Like, they all love her. There's not one person there that doesn't absolutely adore Brittany. I wrote that Lala gave so much shit to Ariana about ditching the season the season 11 finale. But all of season 5, Lala was constantly ditching the show and leaving and was out for 2 episodes and gone for like 2 months without talking to anybody. That includes like the producers and shit. Lala really didn't realize she's on TV, and a lot of people can call out her bullshit. She's 100% dating Randall at this point. She pretends everything is paid for by her mom, and it's like, nope, we're not dumb. We know that that's not true. Lala, won't say she is dating and won't answer any questions about who she's dating, and Stassi says everybody bleeds out for this show except for Lala. Stassi says she understands what it is like to be with someone who doesn't want to be on the show, and Lala says to fall back, and he didn't want to be on the show, and it's not as easy as Stassi's issue was. Lala has people sign NDAs when she's either high or drunk, and James says he didn't sign one, and he wants to know, why is she friends with people that they would have to sign NDAs with that would not, like, that want to just constantly, like, talk about her all the time. Also, like, Andy's trying to understand, like, is Lala that famous that she needs people to sign NDAs for her? Like, what the fuck? Lala says she's not on the show, and yet she's at the reunion. So if you're not on the show anymore, why are you at the reunion? And then, AKA, why do you show up next season? Again, Lala thinks she's so big. And so, like, she just thinks she's that bitch. And she has a lot of barking, but when someone goes after her, she can't fucking handle it. She can just jab at people, but if people jab back at her or call her out for her shit behavior, she can't handle it. Schwartz says Lala came in way too hard and needed to be a lot softer, and he thinks that's why she was received so poorly by the group. Sandoval and Ariana are doing the book together, and you could kind of see how she felt kind of defeated about that, and it made me really sad because I wish she would have stood up for herself about that. But I am proud of her for standing up for herself about not wanting kids and not wanting to get married, because those are hard commitments that you can't kind of fucking take back, really, especially the kids part. Ariana is very honest and will not bow down to Stassi, and she doesn't let them get away with their bullshit and games. And she was also felt manipulated at the wedding when Stassi was trying to talk to her, and then they found out in the diary room, Stassi was just like, oh my god, I cracked her. And for me, I thought it was sarcastic and funny, but I guess Ariana took it seriously. I didn't take it like that, but I'm also a very sarcastic person. So Sandoval's yelling at all the women, and constantly being an asshole to all of them, but at least he defends Ariana like all the time. Like he is an asshole to everybody else in that group, especially the women in that group. But I will give this, he is always defending Ariana. So I will give him that at least. And then the last part of the reunion, Katie is seeing all the guys crying at the Gator tour was hard for Katie. Katie was frustrated because she felt like everybody was being two-faced to her and really like sucking up to Schwartz. And Kristen and Sandoval forever just hate each other. They will always hate each other. They will always be in an epic battle of who hates the other one more. Schwartz was not a battered wife, in my opinion. Schwartz makes excuses, and Katie being a bitch equals out to Schwartz cheating according to him. Like, basically, like, oh, I cheated on her, and she's been a bitch for however many years, so, like, we're even. No. Did you maybe look into why she's being such a bitch? It's not random from what I'm looking at. What I'm seeing, Katie wasn't just a random bitch, okay? Schwartz continues to say that he was too drunk to have sex with anybody, but he did lie about the kiss and didn't admit it for over a month to Katie. Schwartz says Katie is a bitch and a nightmare of a human being. And it's not all Sandoval's fault, but holy shit, he made Tom and Katie's relationship harder and harder in the restaurant and demanding Schwartz at all times and being a bitch towards Katie. That's really rough to watch that season. That's also I think the COVID season. I hate that season. Sheena and Shay haven't seen each other in over 4 months. Sheena had to cancel his phone bill because he was not paying for it. And Mike Shay, I forget that his name is Mike Shay. I always forget that. I'm like, Shay. He's living with his parents,
and they aren't officially divorced yet. Sheena says a mutual friend knew he got $600 for 50 pills. Shay says she never listened to him, and Sheena said that he was never home for her to even listen to him. Shay spent all of her money on his music and apparently has a new music business. Ariana says Shay never speaks up and ghosts everybody, and they want to know what was actually wrong on his side. They grew apart and the lifestyle was too hard for him. Sheena would just go out instead of spending time with Shay, which we all knew that, and it's like annoying to watch that. Like, girl, your man needs you and you're nowhere to be fucking found. Like, they were nowhere to be found for each other. It wasn't just Shay, it was both of them. Shay texted a girl and only talked and met up one time with her, apparently. And he had a connection with this girl while they were together. And Sheena found all the text messages, and the girls protected Sheena and never brought any of that up on camera, which I thought was wild. Out of all the things, they protected her with that. I was like, damn, okay. I'm shocked that when they were drunk, none of them brought it up towards her. None of them were like, well, we protected you with this and blah, blah. Like, I'm shocked all the girls kept that a secret. Sheena was worried everybody was going to think Shay doing pills and emotionally cheating would look like her karma for what happened with Brandy and the cheating thing with that. Sheena definitely brought up the pills for camera, and Shay's family didn't even know about it. So that really, really hurt Shay's feelings a lot, which is totally understandable. Sheena started dating Rob. Like, he can, like, put up, like, a TV in 7 minutes. Like that Rob. And Shay actually knew him, and Shay basically had no social media, no presence, and didn't really understand, like, didn't know about the Rob thing until literally that reunion. And as of right now, Shay has basically no presence online that I can see. And I think he, like, literally is a football coach in his hometown, like he wanted to be. That's what he talked about all the time on the show. Shay is done with Sheena as he should be. He wasn't ready for fame, for someone that's such a fame whore as Sheena. And she was going to do basically anything to be famous and anything to be in front of the spotlight. And he just wasn't going to be a part of that. And that's totally understandable. But also, why did you get married? Season 5 was really James's best reunion ever. He hardly ever talked. The whole reunion, he barely talked. And when he did talk, he wasn't a complete blithering asshole. It gets worse from here, guys. Just, like, clue in here, okay? The last thing I said was that I can't believe that Stassi and LVP are doing a show together, considering that, you know, Stassi's talked a lot of shit about LVP in the past and a lot about, like, the experiences that she's had with LVP. And I'm not going to lie, I'm shocked from where this show was to now that they are doing a show together. Like, I'm actually very, very shocked that they're going to be working together on that Hulu show, and then she's going to have her own show. Like, that's very, very interesting to me. I feel like when something about her happened, and I think they saw, like, I just feel like in the last couple of years, her and I think, where did they see each other? I think they saw each other at, was it Pandora's son's birthday, or, like, Sheena's daughter's birthday party? They saw each other again. And I feel like from there is when they started, like, reconnecting and talking again. Because I think Stassi said it's been over, like, 2 years or something like that they've been trying to get the show made. Like, Stassi's show, not LVP's show. But I don't know. It's very interesting. But we are done with season 5. 2 hours flipping later, you guys. 2 hours later. If you've been here all 2 hours, you are a flipping real one, and I appreciate you and I love you. If you've been here for over an hour, I appreciate you and love you. Like, seriously. Go check out Basque Sun Care and go get yourself some sunscreen. Get a little discount. Get some sunscreen. This is literally just incredible sunscreen. I love it so, so much. Here's what it looks like on my hand real quick. I'm almost done. This is my... Oop, there we go. I have a new bottle somewhere around here, but, like, rub it in here. Like, look at that. Clear. Completely clear. I'm not going anywhere today, so I don't even know why I'm putting this on, but I'll put it on for you guys. But it feels very silicone-y. It's very slippery. It's, like, a really good base for your makeup. Don't mind the redness. I barely touch my face and I get red. But, like, it's just really, really awesome. And they have all kinds. They have spray sunscreen, regular sunscreen, all kinds of stuff. And Oh my God, Jalissa, I love that. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I'm happy to keep you entertained. I talk a lot, so I have a good amount of talking and good amount of entertainment to give to you guys, obviously. Check out Hello Cake if you are looking for some sexy stuff for yourself. And like, I love Hello Cake because it's like fun. The stuff that they have, like, you know, you just go to some of the websites and it's just like, it's giving sex toy shop in your local city. Like, this one is fun. It's colorful. The colors are nice and bright. The packaging is cute. And then on top of that, the product is just fucking incredible. I have been using Hello Cake for at least 3 years. At minimum 3 years I've been using it. I'm trying to think. I think it's been at least 3 years I've been using Hello Cake products. And the cool part is you can also find them. I mean, obviously I want you to purchase from me. I would really appreciate it. But you can actually find Hello Cake products at Walmart. You can find vibrators there. You can get lubricant there. And you can also get a sleeve for men genitalia. You know what I'm saying? One of those. At Walmart, which is really cool too. So yeah, check all of that out. Thank you guys so much. Like, subscribe, share, send all this. I will post this so that way everybody can watch it and rewatch it if they want to. And that's season 5. So we'll be moving on to season 6 in this week and next week, most likely. So I love you guys. I hope you have a great day. Travel safely, obviously, if you're like Jalissa and traveling. And yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoy. Please always remember to go support your local LGBTQIA businesses. I appreciate you and I love you. Thank you, Football Cap. Share. Bye.